My problem with what I do and what I study and the things that I like to grow in and the questions that I explore and the levels of depth within the brain and functionality and how to turn things on. You know, my experience has always been that it's not necessarily that people didn't want to understand how these things work. It's that they didn't necessarily have time. And then when it came down to it, it's not that they actually didn't have time. It's that when they got started, there was a lot inside. You know, there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of distractions. To have somebody's focus and to be able to maintain eye contact without looking away for a minute is very, very difficult for most people. They can't just stare at your eye for a minute, even if that's an actual exercise. You know, people will be all over the place. Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'd love to. Yep, okay. And to be able to slow yourself down and find such like a center inside yourself and just be able to like and look just with your eyes and concentrate on the person and not have anything else in your head, just simply listening, observing, watching. You know, not too many people can do that. And so I started to realize, you know, a lot of really cool information, there's a lot of cool systems out there, and there's a lot of really phenomenal things that you can do with your mind, but if you can't focus for that minute or that 2 or that 3 minutes or that 5 or 15 minutes, you can't get anything done. There's too much going on. And so that really became a big problem because, you know, everything with the mind and with consciousness is about focus and concentration. You have to be on it. When you're in that moment, you got to be right there. Especially when you get into a deep conversation, when you're talking, there's 4 or 5 or 6 levels of information happening at once. And if your mind's distracted by what you have to do in an hour, you know, there's no conversation. And so these distractions are really the source of a lack of depth. Your ability to concentrate and focus on a single point in space really determines the level of depth that you can access within information or within your own mind, and not just information, but within yourself, who you are. And the deeper you go into yourself, of course, you understand yourself better. You can predict your own behavior, but you can also start to override, not necessarily override your behavior, but understand, oh, if this is a natural reaction, I could change my situation a little bit, and my reaction becomes different. You get to know yourself, you know. A lot of people who I talk to don't really understand themselves that way. They don't see themselves. They don't understand their own predictability, which means that they're not watching themselves. They're not watching themselves act. And if they're not watching themselves act or hearing what they're saying, what are they doing?